it's Rebecca here from Precious Pages Papercraft, and today I'm designing a layout for Bramble Fox using some items from the May Fox box. So I'm going to be using the fresh title that we get and also the 3 matching Polaroid cameras. You get 3 in blue and 3 in this gorgeous kind of purpley colour, and I'm going to go for that colour to match my title. My photo today is of my little boy a couple of weeks ago on Mother's Day. Oh, it's my Mother's Day flowers. It wasn't actually taken on Mother's Day, but these are the flowers he got me for Mother's Day, and I just thought the colours were beautiful and worked really nicely with that perspective. And I've also got this paper collection from P13 Paper Products. It's called Time to Relax, and again I thought the colours just tied in beautifully, so I wanted to use that for this layout. And I had this piece here, this kind of wood grain piece that says memories on it, and it's got a little tag and some foliage to the side, and it was on one of the cut apart sheets, and I fussy cut it out and thought I would use that as my kind of starting point for my layout. I had no idea what I wanted to do, but I'd fussy cut that out knowing I wanted to use that, and I'd fussy cut lots of flowers and leaf clusters as well. So I'm just now having a play trying to figure out how I want them arranged on my layout. And I know I kind of want my photo behind the word memories and central on the page. So it was just trying to find a place for all of these fussy cut florals to go. And at this point I know I want to add some mixed media behind all of this, and I was toying between distress oxides or alcohol inks. I do go with the alcohol inks in the end, so I'm going to make sure I know where everything is going to sit on the page, and then the bulkier items, so those big florals, I'm going to stick together so that I can move them on and off the page in one piece, so that when I come to add the alcohol inks I know exactly where I want the colours to be, and I don't want the area to spread out too much and then take away from everything else. So what I'm going to do is get everything stuck together, and then I can use a pencil and just very faintly draw around the edge and know where I want my mixed media to go. So there we go, I've just skipped through the rest of me sticking everything down. I have swapped my white cardstock out for Yupo paper. It's not actually paper, it's kind of like a plastic, and it's the material that you need to use with alcohol inks. They soak into cardstock and they just don't work very well. So you'll need to have some of this Yupo paper, or there are cheaper brands you can buy as well. It's effectively like plastic paper. So I swapped that out. I've drawn around, you can see there with a pencil where the main part of my layout is going to sit. I haven't added in the leaves yet. I'll probably end up moving those around just to see where I'm happy with them. But the bigger pieces there are all stuck together. And now it's a case of me just adding these inks and having a play. And I've pulled out 3 colours. You might have seen there, I've got a 12 by 12 sheet of Yupo paper that's got all of my colours on, so I can clearly see what will work, what will match. And I pulled out 3 colours to use. I've got that yellowy orange colour is called Mango. It's like a darker mustard colour. And then I've got Ruby and Deep Purple. And it's just a case of adding them onto that Yupo paper and using my air blower here, this is a Tim Holtz one, just to squeeze, and it blows air at the page and moves the ink around. And then I'm coming in with my, and I can't say this word, is it isopropyl alcohol? I just can't say it. The alcohol you have to use to, like a blending solution, to make these inks move and react. So that's what I've got in that dark bottle you'll see me using in a second. This one here is actually a hand sanitizer bottle, but it was perfect for using for this. So once the hand sanitizer had finished, I just refilled it with this alcohol that I can't say. So just as you can see, I'm just adding a bit of ink here and there, blowing it about a bit to disperse it, adding a bit of that blending solution on top, blowing it again, and I just keep adding to it and having a play, bringing my photo and my florals back in to see if I'm happy with how it's looking and how the colours are dispersed, and just sort of keep going with it. One thing I will say with alcohol inks is when you add the blending solution, it does kind of dilute the colour a little bit. and it almost takes the colour away. So you can use it as an eraser as well. So if you want the colours to be really rich, you do need to add lots of the alcohol ink. And you might have seen just then I got a bit of ink where I didn't want it. So I've just added a bit of that blending solution and just rubbed it away with a tissue, and it's come away perfectly. So you can also kind of erase with it as well if you don't like how your work is looking with alcohol ink. So they are lots of fun. I will say just make sure you've got a window open and well ventilated craft room when you're having a play with it. But as you can see here, I'm kind of almost happy with how it's looking. I've got foam stuck on the back of everything and then double-sided tape, and I'm about to stick it down, and I decide to add a bit more blending solution just to change the kind of look of how it is. I just love the effect that blending solution gives. And then I'm coming in here with a white alcohol ink, and I wasn't too sure what this would do, if anything. I thought it might dull the colours down in areas, wasn't too sure. Oh, there's a bit of me erasing again as well. You can see how easy it picks up the colour. But yeah, the white didn't do an awful lot, so probably a waste of time. But I am coming back in with the mango colour because the layout itself is going to have a lot of purple and pink on it. And there's only a little sort of scattering of that mustard colour, like the centre of the flowers. So I wanted to have a little bit more of that with the alcohol ink. And I'm finally happy with it. And alcohol inks do dry really quickly, so I don't need to get my heat gun or anything out. You can also see my page hasn't warped at all. This Yupo paper is fantastic for that. And sadly, my glossy accents has finally died. It's finished, so I'm onto a new bottle. I love this stuff. It's so good for perspectives and sequins. That bottle must have lasted me over a year, and you know how many perspective I use, so it does last a long time. So yes, new bottle of, what's it called, Glossy Accents. God, I lost my mind then. Got my perspective stuck in place. I've got my title, which is now Fresh Memories. I've also got a couple of the cameras in place, just nestled in amongst those florals. And I'm also going to add the third one up the top a bit later on. You'll see me here just making myself a couple of epoxy flares. These are another Bramble Fox product. So they are epoxy dome stickers that are see-through, and they work perfectly with a 1-inch circle punch. So the circular items you get on your paper snips, they're perfect for those, or a lot of collections like Simple Stories, Page Evans that come with sticker books. Sometimes they have circular ones, those fit nicely as well. Or you could just use a bit of pattern paper that you like, or if you've got your alcohol inks and you've got some kind of swatches that you like the look of the colours, punch a bit out and use that with your epoxy flare and just add those in. Those are fantastic. But I've used them, a couple of them here, with stickers from that P13 Time to Relax collection. I just kind of nestled them in amongst my florals. I'm using paper snips number 25. So if you are a Foxbox Plus subscriber, as well as getting all the perspectives, you will also get these paper snips and the latest stencil as well, Fox Cut stencil. But I've used those two epoxy flares. I've added in a couple of other bits from the paper snip. So I've got a little bit that says amazing. It's almost like a paintbrush stroke with lettering over the top, which I really love. That's gone to the right hand side of my photo, and I'm bringing in another bit now, just a little tab that says always remember this day, and I'm just trying to find a place to put it where it's not going to look too blocky. And in the end I settled for under my title because I had a lot of alcohol ink there and no florals or anything over it, so I felt that that sat nicely there. So I'm almost done with this layout now, and I love how this is looking, especially with all the white space around the outside edge, really loving it. But I do want to add a little bit of bling, so I'm going through my stash of Spiegelmom Scraps sequins from when I was on the design team. You can see how many I was sent, and I've got a lovely stash here. So I'm just pulling out lots of different mixes, and then I'm going to mix bits and pieces together to make kind of my own mix that works with the colours in my layout. So I'm going for kind of purples, pinks, and that lovely mustard yellow colour. And I'm just going to pull from a few different mixes. And I've skipped through the rest of that for you because it was quite a long and boring task to watch. So now I've just got those sequins mixed on my desk, and I'm just sprinkling them on my page kind of as they land, and as that's where I'm going to stick them. No rhyme or reason. There's a couple that I do strategically place, but most of them I just sprinkle everywhere. As long as they're not over my photo or my title, I'm happy. And then I've got this kind of like a jewel or gem picker tool here that I'm using. I think it's by Craft Companion or something like that. I can't remember now. You can get it on Amazon, but it's fantastic for picking up sequins and gems. And I'm just going around picking up each sequin, adding a dab of my glossy accent, and then sticking the sequin back down. I'm going to go all the way around and do that, and then that will be me finished. So there we go, pretty much done. I'm just going to give it a quick shake to make sure no sequins fall off. And I think I'm going to add, yes, that last camera up the top here, I've not yet added that in. So I've got that yellow splodge of alcohol ink there that I just feel like needs to be covered a little bit more, comes out too far, and I had another camera which was perfect, so I've just slotted that one in there. So now I've got my title and my 3 cameras on this page, as well as a couple of epoxy flare and some paper snips. So love how this one turned out. Thank you so much for joining me. I hope you've enjoyed the process and you've found it inspiring. I will leave the links below in the description box for you to the Bramble Fox website and our Foxbox subscription page. So you've got the Foxbox or the Foxbox Plus option. Try saying that fast. With the Foxbox Plus, you also get some epoxy flare, the paper snips, and the latest stencil, so a little bit more there as well. And you can always combine shipping and add more to your order as well to be shipped with your Foxbox, and then you don't have to pay the additional shipping as well. So I'll leave those links in the description box for you, and also a link to our Bramble Fox Friends Facebook group. So do head on over and join us there. There's loads of inspiration. You get DT inspiration, you get customer inspiration, all our group members. You also get our monthly challenges posted in there, and every Monday there is a live scrap along or sneak peek from Morag and Melanie as well. So do head on over and join us. But thanks again for joining me, and I'll see you next time.